Stokeland. It sits at a fork between two roads, one a thick commercial highway bedeviled by ice for 90% of the year, the other a stripped, frozen weave of a road, impassable for 10 months out of 12, and huddled beneath wedges of brilliant white snow. It is a wonder that Stokeland has any inhabitants at all, but it does, over 100 souls. Angie Barker is one. She sits in Shay's, Stokeland's only bar, watching the snow come again. It is just before lunch, and a few townsfolk have made it in as well, their snowmobiles parked beside each other outside. They have come for the steamed moose meat and sourdough, and some will chase it down with whiskey. Yukon Jack if they can afford it. Angie has cleaned the bar, ready for them, rinsing out the dirty glasses left from the night before, and sweeping the sticky carpet, musky with sweat and the urgency of payday. Men come to the bar and spend their money from trapping or the zinc mines as soon as they make it. They leave dull fingerprints on the pool table and the shiny surface of the bar, grubby reminders that they have yet to make enough to leave and head south where it is warmer. Angie is 39 and has been for a number of years. She is too heavy and her skin is too blotched for her to be anything other than a functional barmaid. The trappers and miners do not come into Shay's to see her, only to drink beer. She hasn't had to slap a hand away from her breasts for over 6 months. Not even after Ray Sullivan's divorce party. He'd been wanting to leave Wanda for an age, and she finally let him after finding out he'd been seeing a stripper over in Trampers Creek, where he'd tried to trade with the Inuit. Shay's bar had been packed the night of the divorce party. Jackie and Connor, men who worked down Stokeland's zinc mine and were never apart, hugged a table, swaying together. Others, faces she couldn't place, beamed over lines of shots. Shay's bar pulsed and throbbed the night Ray Sullivan's divorce came through. By the time Angie stepped outside for a smoke, her shirt was damp from the unexpected exercise of running between kegs and optics. In a roundabout way, Angie thinks as she wipes the bar, Ray's divorce has led to her being here, right this moment, waiting for one particular fellow to show. Today was her day off. She didn't have to be in. She could have stayed in her room above the bar where a stove keeps ice at bay and she could watch Days of Our Lives on repeat. Instead, she was passing the time sweeping floors that had already been swept and washing glasses that were already clean, waiting for Gerry the gin to make an appearance.
I don't actually like gin, but it's a thing that's stuck.
That had been the night of Ray's party. Gerry the gin had traded his furs to the Inuits that day, and, like too many Stokelanders, had come to drink away his money before being driven back into the snow to snare more animals. His eyes had the sunken, overbright look of someone pinned into an addled, swilled-in beer way of life, and the breath coming off him was foul. Angie had hung back at the bar, nudging the stubs of whiskey to him. But Gerry's shirt was clean, and he still had a rough edge of an accent. It was enough to intrigue in the washed-up room. "That so? Nickname like that, and you don't like gin." Angie nodded conversationally, but still kept back from the fetid plumes drifting from the man's mouth. "Well, what else could it be?"
Nickname? Hell, I don't know. Why does a man need a nickname anyway? Foxes and hares I skin couldn't give a tuppenny fuck what I'm called.
Right. And Angie was about to move away, recognizing the tipping point all men reach when booze has sloshed around in their stomachs for long enough.
When do you get here?
Gerry the gin asked. When did I move to Stokeland? Angie paused with her hand resting on a pump and thought hard. Santa Monica had been her home for the first 30 years, then Vancouver with a man. That hadn't worked out, and he'd left her with a cracked rib and venereal disease. Bar jobs, drifting north, then Stokeland.